We're back now with Michelle Cook, the Director of Patrol and Enforcement with the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office. So, Michelle, you're going to be speaking next Friday at Gen W. That's why you're here, to tell us all about it. You are speaking about the changing face of law enforcement at Generation W. So what does that mean?
So what does that mean? You know, what that means for us is you know, I think with my 25 years in law enforcement, the one thing that I've seen is that men and women do police differently. It's very, you know, there's a need for agencies to reflect the departments they serve. If we're going to reflect the communities that we serve. And we need more women to get into law enforcement. What I find so interesting is I talk to young women across this community, and they all, you know, I ask them, well, what do you want to do when you get out of college, or what kind of job are you looking for? Well, I really want to help people. Well, I really want to make a difference. And I look at them and I say, consider law enforcement. You know, I talked earlier about, you know, bar fights and riding in fast in the car, and that's all in good, but you know, the day-to-day work that we get to do to really change people's lives, you find people when they're at a crisis or they need the most help, and the impact that you can have. And I've seen the women on our department and how they approach people and how they approach problems. And we need men and women. This is not to say the men aren't doing a good job, but the perspective that women bring, the expertise and just the background that the women that come onto our department bring are much needed in not only in Jacksonville but in law enforcement across the country.
And so a lot of this was started really by research. All of this is backed up by research. And so last year at Gen W, we had this phenomenal young woman speak. Her name is Jay Newton Small. She was just in town. She wrote a book called Broad Influence. And she looked at all different segments of the workforce and looked at, there's a certain number, 20 to 30%. If you have women, then that starts to change the complexion of those industries. And I became fascinated with the law enforcement. I'm thinking, you know, what's more important today? Our communities are on fire in certain markets. We see all of this ugliness out there. So we're all about community trust and public safety. And so Michelle clearly has been following this. I mean, you know, I have data that I can read, and she came and said, hey, listen, you know, we really do need women make a difference, real fundamental differences when it comes to public safety and public trust. And so we should have more women on our police forces. And so therefore we said, let's have this discussion. And she went out and helped recruit, I think, 3 other formidable leaders in law enforcement from other cities who will be joining us. And our esteemed moderator will be Kelly Wallace from CNN.
Oh, that's awesome.
Wow. Yes.
So how do you attract women to law enforcement? How do you, other than, you know, getting up, doing talks like this, that's a tremendous thing. Having you as an example, a tremendous thing. But how else can you get women to even consider law enforcement, like what you're doing when you talk to women?
Tony, I wish I had that answer. I wish I had that answer. Over my career, I've been in charge of recruiting several times, and we just aren't getting women into the door. And so last year I approached Jacksonville University and asked them if they would do a study for us on how to approach minority applicants, women and minorities, into law enforcement. What do we need to say to women? What do our recruiting posters need to look like? What do we need to sell to women and minorities to get them into the door to apply? Because I think, you know, most of the women who come in stay. Our turnover rate for women is very low.
Wow.
They stay because they get to experience all these fantastic things that they never thought was available to them. So we're working with JU right now, and we're going to, when the study's complete, probably reframe how we approach young people, young women, young minorities, to get them into law enforcement, to consider law enforcement.
I think we have a perfect opportunity right here, right?
Yeah,
Tony,
absolutely.
Leanza, right? We got it all in the back seat. We're going to shoot a chat, right, in one of the squad cars.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Oh, that would be fun.
I'm in. I would love that.
Can I drive fast?
You could go,
Yeah, and turn the lights on.
yes.
And go to a bar fight.
It'll be the first time that sirens will
Tony will break it up.
Sirens and lights will be.
See, look at this excitement. There we go, right?
This is good. This is good. You know, and police work is really so rewarding. It's so rewarding. And this is one of the jobs where you can go home at the end of the day and go, you know what? I made a difference today, and I saved somebody's life. I got that child out of a bad situation and got them help. You know, I helped that old person who was trapped, you know, in a car on an accident, and I helped pull them out before the car caught on fire. There's so many opportunities to really make a difference. And then, you know, for me, especially, I'm little. Okay, I'm 5'5". I have a weight, and
Not disclosing.
but I found throughout my career that especially citizens, folks in the community, were much more likely to talk to me and tell me about things that were going on.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And so that's how I
Very
that's how I
interesting.
was successful in my career. I wasn't chasing people down. I was getting information.
And at Generation W, we have this great story told by a male officer.
Yes.
Sitting beside a female officer who diffused a situation, and his commentary on this is transformative.
Wow.
So
Wow.
the Generation
Talk about a tease for that conference right there. Well, Michelle, thank you so much.
Thank you.
We appreciate it so very much. Coming up next, we're going to have another Gen W speaker. We're not done yet. Who has spearheaded a truly inspiring part of the conference, empowering young girls.